Good evening, everybody. This is Gertrude here again in beautiful Wellington, New Zealand. I promised that I would end the day and come back to the topic that I was talking about earlier today, which is all about the different types of fear. In the morning, I gave you a video on how to overcome fear and why. But let's take a little look at the different types of things that we are fearful about. I know that the most scary thing is the fear of failure. A lot of people don't try new things, they don't change their jobs because they are fearful that they might fail. And why is that? People fear failure, one, because they're worried about what other people might say if they don't succeed. Two, they feel that they are not confident enough to go ahead and do what they want to do. Three, they might think that the idea they've come up with is not going to work even before they try. So the fear of failure holds a lot of people back. The second type of fear is the fear of success. Believe it or not, a lot of people self-sabotage themselves. They come up with an amazing idea, they run with it for a little while, and then they start to doubt whether they can actually do it or not. So self-sabotage is based on not knowing what will happen if you succeed. Sounds strange? But a lot of people are scared of success because once you're successful, your whole life changes. You're no longer in the same space that you were in before. So I said earlier that a lot of times the closest people to you will try and hold you back. They will tell you not to do what you're trying to do, and they bring in their own personal fears of your failure. But the honest truth is, it's just based on their own scared perceptions of failure. So don't tune into other people's fears when you are trying to do something new. Now, because I'm a public speaker, I have been doing this ever since I was 13 years old. My parents channeled me to go into public speaking and debate. I was part of the drama group in high school, and I got used to standing up in front of people at a very early age, and now I do it very naturally. But they say that the biggest fear for most people is to speak in public. Public speaking can paralyze most people. And one of the little tips that my father gave me when I started public speaking, he would tell me that just remember that everybody in the audience goes to the toilet. So picture them sitting on the loo. And the minute he said that, it kind of made me realize that we're all human, we all have bodily functions, and they're just like me. So if you ever feel scared to stand in front of people and speak, just remember that they are human beings just like you, with the same fears that you have. One of my best mentors who taught me how to speak in large groups is Jack Canfield. Jack Canfield is one of the authors who wrote the book Chicken Soup of the Soul. And he's famous for a book called The Success Principles. And I went for one of his trainings in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was about to speak in front of the largest audience at that time, which was 5,000 people. And I said, Jack, I am so scared. I'm so paralyzed. I don't know what to do. And he asked me, Gertrude, what is the biggest audience you've ever spoken in front of? And I told him it was just 500 people. And he said, the way you have to speak in front of a large group of people is, number one, get to the venue early before the event starts. Have a look at the lay of the room, then find the furthest seat in that theater and sit on that seat. And look down at the stage so that when you're speaking, you'll remember to look up at the person at the very back of that theater. And then he said that you have to work the room in groups of 500s. You turn to your left and you say there's 500 people there. You look in the middle, you speak to the 500 people there. You look to the side, 500 there. At the top, another 500, 500, 500. And before you know it, you are connecting with 5,000 people. And although you can't see their faces, they will feel as if you are speaking to them. And that's why he recommended that I get to the theater early and look around the room and get a feel of the room, so that when I'm on stage, I can remember that there is somebody sitting in the furthest seat who's paid to come and hear me speak, and they will feel like they were part of that presentation as well. So the fear of public speaking can be overcome in a number of ways. Number one, prepare for your speech as best you can. I believe that you shouldn't rehearse a presentation. Don't go into overthinking what you're going to say. I normally just start off with a few bullet points. You might have noticed in the way that I'm delivering these presentations that I put bullet points for the people that I'm speaking to, so you get an idea of what I was wanting to cover. And I use those bullet points to guide me through this presentation, for example. And that's all. When you record a presentation and you listen to yourself speaking it, and you rehearse and practice every single word, what happens is you stop being present to your audience. You stop connecting in a really authentic way, because you're in your head and you're trying to remember word by word what you're supposed to say. So the best thing is to practice as much as you can, and then just bullet point your presentation and try and deliver it like what I'm doing now without rehearsing it. You will make mistakes, but remember that people appreciate somebody who's authentic, who's speaking from the heart, who's trying to deliver information that they've come to listen to. People are very forgiving if you are authentic. But if you try and front and go up on stage with a pre-rehearsed presentation, people can see that it's not authentic. And then if you make a mistake, you forget where you were because you're so nervous, it can actually trip you up as well, because then you don't know how to continue. So when I give presentations, yes, I make a few mistakes here and there, but because I'm so fluent and I'm confident about what I'm talking about, people are forgiving for those little errors when they come up. So don't over rehearse a presentation. Try and deliver it as much as you can from the heart rather than from your head. Learning to speak softly, learning to speak slowly, and learning to breathe while you're speaking. Sometimes you get your words jumbled up because you're speaking too fast. And the slower you speak, the clearer you are, the more your audience can hear you and the more you engage with them. So the fear of speaking is going to be another topic that I will cover completely on its own on another day. The fear of writing. A lot of you know that I'm a book writing coach, and I mentor and coach people online. And I've just recently created another group of 100 authors that I'm taking through the book writing process. And these authors are coming back to me and saying, Gertrude, I've never written anything professionally. I don't know if anybody wants to read my book. I don't know if my topic is interesting. And they start self-sabotaging themselves before they even start to write. Now, the thing that you have to remember is that there are very few authors in the world. Not everybody is an author. And the fact that you are inspired enough to put pen to paper, to write something, means that you have something to give the world. You really have to believe that. So write as much as you can and just tell yourself that I'm just the storyteller. I'm just here to impart a certain type of knowledge or skills that I have that can help somebody else. And then let your editors help you clean up your text once it's written. Just get that first draft done. because a lot of people stop at the first draft. It's just amazing what can happen when you let go of the outcome of things and just decide and you focus that you're going to get it done. And then you don't self-edit. You don't go into your head as you're writing and try and make things too perfect. The fear of new situations. A lot of people are fearful to go into places they've never been to before, to join a new group they've never joined before, to meet new people. The fear of new situations can really hold people back. So like I said earlier, get excited about the new experience you're about to have. Turn that fear of the new situation into excitement, because your life can change when you do that. Fearing to start a new job. I remember when I first came to New Zealand, I sent out my resume, I applied for a number of jobs, and I had about 6 interviews and I got all 6 jobs. And the highest paying job was really nice, but there were a few things about that job that I felt that I had a few shortcomings. I didn't have experience in certain areas. I was in a new country. I was very fearful. And I remembered calling one of my friends in Dallas, Texas. Her name was Mary. And I said, Mary, I have a choice of 4 jobs. The highest paying is amazing. It has all these new opportunities for me to learn, but I don't feel confident to do it. And I'm thinking that I should just take the lowest paying job and start there and try and build my way up. And Mary gave me this advice that I tell anybody who has an opportunity to choose a job when you've gone for a job interview. She said to me, Gertrude, the fact that you impressed them and they offered you the job means that they see your potential. They know you can do it. So you need to trust that. And she said, and if you get stressed out earning that kind of money, you can buy a stress pill. So Mary, you might be watching this video in Dallas, Texas. Thank you for the advice. I took up her advice, got an amazing job where they sent me for training in the first month to bring my skills up to scratch. Within 3 months, I was promoted to become a project manager, and I ended up computerizing the largest private hospital in New Zealand. So don't be scared when you're in that new position, and don't be scared to leave your job. When I made my decision to leave my job, I had gone in to see my old boss, and I wanted to renegotiate my work hours so I could work from home in the afternoon because I had 3 kids under the age of 12. And I wanted to work from home in the afternoon. When I walked into his office, he said to me, Gertrude, you don't have a choice. It's either you stay or you go. And I realized that this man was forcing me to choose between my children and work. And my kids are not negotiable. I went to my desk as if in a trance. I typed up my resignation letter on the spot. And the only thought I remembered as I stood in his office when he said this was a quote that I had read in a book one day. And the quote said, if a man kicks you on the butt, let it push you towards your goalpost. At the time, thinking of that quote made no sense. But when I went to my desk, I realized that maybe he was pushing me towards my next goalpost. And I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to go into business. And I thought, I'm going to quit and I will try and create an income by creating a business. And that's what I did. And it was the best. Sorry about that. My connection dropped, threw me off a little bit, but I'm glad we're reconnected. So I was saying, don't ever hold back when you want to try and change your profession. The other thing that I found that is holding a lot of people back is the fear of sharing their ideas. I had somebody who joined my book writing group who said to me, Gertrude, if I start talking about this book before I finish, somebody might steal my ideas. And this is what I say to people about the fear of sharing your ideas. There are no two people in the world like you. Even if somebody steals your idea, they're not going to do it the way that you would do it. You are so unique, you shouldn't be scared. So don't be fearful to talk about a book before you finish writing it. You will get more people supporting, wanting to buy that book than you will people who you think might steal the idea of the book and go ahead and publish something similar. So ideas are common as well. You might think that you came up with that idea first, but there could be somebody else who's also thinking of the same thing. So don't let the sharing of your ideas hold you back. The fear of travel. A lot of people are so fearful of traveling overseas, for example. I have traveled all over the world, and my travels have given me an absolutely magical life and experience. One of the things that I do is I do a lot of research about where I'm going. I kind of plan where I want to go and what I want to do, but I'm one of those travelers who doesn't overthink things, who doesn't overplan. I like life to surprise me when I go to new places. I never go on organized tours. I always go off the beaten track. I normally will find a local taxi driver who can drive me around for the week and show me how the locals live. I really don't like to travel and have that tourist experience. I want to see how the people in that country live, what foods they eat, so that I can take back something different to what I already knew before. And this is a magical universe that we live in. I am 50 years old. I've been to 56 countries. 56. Mostly because of my speaking career, mostly because of my coaching and my workshops. I get hired to go to the most magical cities. And do not be afraid of travel. Don't tap into all of the fearful stories you hear about people. People will again try and impose their fears on you when you're going somewhere new. And I've always said to my children, if I die on one of my travels, you need to know that I died happy, because this is what I love to do. So don't be fearful of travel. We live in a magical universe. And you could cross the street outside your door today and get knocked over by a car. And your life will be over. And you would never have gone to all the places you always dreamt of going. So if you have that bucket list, make your list, find the opportunities to go and just do it. This is a beautiful world we live in. The last thing I want to share is the fear of intimacy. Now, this is something that a lot of people experience. I was divorced. I had been married for 26 years. I had been with the same man for 17 years, and I was petrified about meeting someone new. Until one of my friends said to me, Gertrude, I'm going to put your profile online. You need to start dating. And now I've met my fiance. My whole life has completely changed. And I am reinventing myself at the age of 50. So, ladies, a lot of you have seen my little video of my recent engagement. Do not be scared to find your next soulmate. It doesn't matter how old you are. Find someone that you can die with. I think that was one of my biggest fears, was to die alone without somebody to share my life with. So don't be fearful. And when my soul, Darius Kaniski, showed up, he showed up as somebody completely different. He looks nothing like me. We come from two completely different cultures. If anybody had told me a year ago that I was going to meet a 6'3", blue-eyed giant from Poland and Austria, I would have said they were lying. But that's the man I'm with now. So be open to having new experiences. Again, there are people out there just like you seeking intimacy and connection and love. And because I believe in love so much, I wasn't going to give up until I found my soulmate. So this is Gertrude. Thank you all for tuning in. I can see so many people who've been on this call. Lydia, thank you for being there. I can see Dawn. I can see Alina, my friend. ¿Cómo estás, amiga? It's been a long time since I last talked to you. I can see Janice all the way in Bali, Patrice in the United States, Jessie, Tracy, Maria. Thanks for tuning in. Get in touch with me if you're looking for a life strategist to help you change your life, if you're looking for a business coach, if you're looking for a book midwife. I help people to self-publish their books on Amazon, Kindle, and iTunes. So this is Gertrude. Until tomorrow, have a magical evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow with a completely different topic again. Bye for now.